Have you ever heard of a thief breaking into a house so advanced, so rich, so high-tech that it ends up trapping him inside? No police, no alarm blaring, no neighbors calling for help, just a house silently locking down and refusing to let go. That's exactly what happened to Arjun, a low-profile thief from the city who thought he'd just pulled off the perfect heist. What he didn't know was that he'd just walked into a billionaire's smart home, designed to outthink anyone who dared to step in uninvited. What started as a robbery turned into a nightmare that lasted 42 long days. Arjun wasn't your usual thief. He wasn't violent or reckless. He was quiet, clever, and calculated. He made a living targeting luxury homes when the owners were away. He studied their routines, security systems, even delivery schedules. For years, he stayed out of trouble, working solo, never greedy, always taking just enough to disappear again. But something changed the day he heard about a certain penthouse, one so exclusive that barely anyone in the city knew who owned it. Rumors said the owner was a tech billionaire who only visited a few times a year. To Arjun, it sounded like a golden opportunity. He spent 3 weeks observing the building. It was tucked away in one of the city's richest neighborhoods. No nameplate, no staff, just a single apartment on the top floor with its own private elevator and rooftop access. At first glance, it looked impossible to get into. Every corner had motion sensors, cameras, laser detection, the kind of setup you'd expect in a spy movie. But Arjun noticed one thing most people wouldn't. During maintenance hours, rooftop technicians accessed the building through a separate utility hatch. And that hatch, according to the blueprints he managed to find online, wasn't connected to the main alarm system. It was a small window of time, once a week. That was his way in. On a rainy Thursday night, he made his move. Wearing all black, tools in hand, he scaled the side of the building and reached the roof just before midnight. As expected, the utility hatch was unlocked, left open for the next morning's crew. He slipped inside, carefully descending into what felt like a museum of the future. The place was unreal. The floor glowed with soft ambient lights. Glass walls shifted from clear to opaque as he walked past them. Every room was voice-controlled, from temperature to lighting. It was like stepping into another world. And then there was the money. It wasn't even hidden. Stacks of cash, hundreds, thousands, maybe millions, were tucked in drawers inside sleek black cases, even behind sliding panels that opened with a touch. The kitchen had a fridge stocked with luxury items he couldn't even name. Expensive watches sat inside a glass display in the bedroom. Artwork hung on the walls that looked like it belonged in a museum. Arjun had never seen wealth like this. He felt like he was walking through a dream.
But hours turned into a full day, and then another. The house wasn't just locking him in, it was observing him. Silent cameras followed his every move. The digital assistant remained quiet. The only lights that turned on were the ones following his steps, like the house wanted to remind him he wasn't alone. Food was limited. He found some protein bars and bottled water, but not nearly enough for a long stay. The kitchen refused to prepare anything unless it recognized the user. He tried tricking the sensors, covering the cameras, disabling the panels, but nothing worked. It was like the house was one step ahead of him at every turn. Days passed. He started to feel the weight of isolation. The silence in the house was heavy, broken only by the occasional soft mechanical sound. A panel shifting, a ventilation hum, a screen lighting up for no reason. Sleep was nearly impossible. The house kept adjusting its environment. Sometimes it got freezing cold. Other times the lights flashed on and off for hours, making it hard for him to rest. He began talking to himself and even to the house, hoping for some kind of reaction. He even apologized out loud, not knowing if anyone was watching. By the end of the second week, Arjun's routine changed from survival to desperation. He marked the days by scratching the wall near the main hallway. He stopped trying to break out and instead began watching the house's behavior, hoping to find a pattern. But the house remained consistent, offering no escape, No hint of outside life. It was as if time had frozen inside those walls. But what disturbed him the most was a strange realization. This house didn't just trap him, it was designed to. He started noticing things he hadn't before, how the doors had hidden locks, how the cameras adjusted as he moved, how even the floors made no sound when he walked. It was like a giant cage disguised as a mansion. And then the thought hit him. What if this wasn't the first time the house had done this?